We are going into this round two, kind of quasi round two, round one match between Bundy and Fishies. This is going to be Venescula versus Ozan in a best of three series. This is the RuneScape Chronicle final tournament, and looks like Bundy, we're playing from his perspective, has a lot of aggro coming in here. Gonna get a pretty decent opening hand. He's got some options there. Double worthy opponent into either the slime toes. Yeah, he's going to keep it. Gonna leave one of the worthy opponents as a KGP target, perhaps. Going to lock in. We'll see what ends up happening. Looks like the worthy opponent does go away. Mr. Fishies. I don't know why I say Mr. Fishies. Fishies is going to grief his worthy opponent, unfortunately for him. So he's just going to go into this Slime Toes with a 3 base attack. Fishy's going to play the Radimus Urkel, which is going to draw cards, more than likely. Give him some armor, give him a little bit of a weapon, moving into Chapter 2. He does have to be careful with the weapon since he is going second. There's a lot of opportunity for Bundy to potentially remove it. But with a 1-2 as it is, it's not like he's going to be going into something super huge at this point. So he should be perfectly fine. Bundy, looking at his options at this point, he has some aggro in the Ogre, he has some aggro in the Werewolf, he has some aggro in the Troll Chief, he has some aggro in the Werewolf Rebel. So he has a lot of good damage output. He will be playing the KGP first, and then thinking about, does he go into Mortal, does he go into the Alpha Werewolf? Debating, hasn't locked in, wants to calculate it out in his head. Going to play without the werewolf down, so Fishies is up on the clock now. Has to figure out what exactly does he want to do. He has 6 gold, so there's a lot of options that he has between weapons, between potions, between buying health, and there's another black marketeer really trying to grief, and the KGP discards the werewolf on him, which that represents a lot of damage if he's down in mortal. We've got a wilderness coming out, so Fishy's going to be aggressive. Bundy is probably going to look at that and say, yeah, sure, we'll be aggressive. He is down in health, but now he's also immortal. He has 4 gold, so if a Gorge pops into his hand, that's a nice 12 health swing. Going up to 5 base attack, he could also have the Firewatch. If he has that pop into his hand, that's a nice 10-point swing and a card discard. So there's a lot of options that Bundy has, but he is a little bit behind, technically, Fishies, who is now sitting at 10 cards. Didn't draw a lot because he only had 1. Why is the unstable? Oh, because Crystal Flask doesn't count as a potion, right? So he is going to not have a ton of options available. Does he heal? He's thinking about it. Thinking about going for the heal. Not a bad play. Wants to make sure that he stays alive for the rest of the game. So he'll steal a health, he'll gain 8 health, and it feels just pretty good. He's going to go into the Troll Chucker with his 1 extra weapon. It is 4 damage coming Bundy's direction. Still going to be over his mortal range now with this Crystal Flask. Darren Lightfinger, reducing the cost of his next card. So it's either going to be something really expensive. Loses a Ketsek, so we got that 8 damage is safe. Goes into the Sardome and Godsword. That's one that you don't see too often. Still pretty strong. Gonna get a little bit of heal, gonna get a little bit of reach. That's why you see it. With the weapon, he's gonna deal 8 damage to Bundy. So Bundy really needs to either heal or find a way to reach into his Ogre Chieftain to deal that damage back to Fishies. His draw is going to be not super helpful. It's going to give him 2 heal, so he can go up to 12. He's going to be able to deal a little bit of damage if he wants in the unstable, or he could go with Beer into the Ogre Chieftain. He's debating. He doesn't have a lot of great options at this point. Going to go for the extra 7 damage. Perhaps Fishies goes into a 10 attack creature that deals a lot of damage. The Ketzek, that's going to hurt. It is going to get killed in 1 hit, so he'll have the weapon left over for slot 2. But Bundy is down to 4 health, so there's a lot of things like that would kill Bundy. And it does. It just does. So game 1 goes to Fishies, and Mr. Bundy loses that first one. Moving on to game number 2. This is a best of 3. So he has opportunities to bring it back. Thinking about giving up and just playing the single player. Not going to do that. He's going to go into Mr. Fishies. Not Mr. Fishies. He's going to go into Fishies and go to game number 2. Jumping into game number 2, it looks like Bundy is choosing Ariane, and Fishies is going to pick his Venescula. So this seems to be a miracle Ariane of sorts. Maybe just a plain aggressive Ariane, but there is some good miracle coming in. There's Earth Blast, there's the Earth Wave. That's exactly what he's doing. You don't want those in your hand on the opening slot. Those don't feel super great. Gonna see if he can get something with the Sedrador. Gonna play the Gnome for 2 extra gold just for himself right off the top. Sometimes you can use that to grief an aggro Venescula who plays like super greedy and does Werewolf first chapter to go into Mortal or something like that. Not gonna happen. Gonna have some gold grief from Fishies coming out here. Is gonna take some damage to make it happen, but that's an interesting play. I'm not sure that I know the deck that Fishies is playing, at least not the classic version that runs the Pirates and Gold Grief. I mean, I guess you can run a Pirate Venescula. There's nothing saying that you can't. So he's going to go into card draw, going to go into this 3 base attack weapon with him, dealing 4 damage to Bundy, who is sitting perfectly fine. He needs to gain a lot of gold, though. His goal at the end of Chapter 1 would be to have a lot more gold than he's currently sitting at. He does have the Mimic available to him. He does have some card draw available to him. And if he wants to try and knock something in with the Archmage's Edgador, he's going to hope to go into something big and have Fishies tank a lot of damage. That would be helpful to him. So he's going to go up to 7, down to 6, down to 5. So at the end, or at the beginning of the next chapter, if Fishies hits something really large with that Sedrador, Bundy could Earthwave and potentially kill him slot 1. So Bundy is going first, Fishies going second. Fishies is on the clock, coming down, trying to figure out what he needs to do. Does he play an aggressive Venescula, or is he just going... Okay, so he's going for card draw. He's overdrawing a little bit, unless he's going to be spending coins. Uses the weapon and still takes the damage anyways. Going to go up to 3 gold. Going to go with the KGP, so there is the card discard with the Haunted Leech getting out of there. Not a bad card to lose. Archmage Sedrador, does it miss? It does. Nothing going in with the Sedrador, a waste of a coin, and that's going to not feel super great as Bundy. He does get his KGP Sheep, which is really good because that's 5 gold that it represents. He's got an Ali Morrisane, which is also good. The Fire Surge doesn't seem to be a big help in this point of the game, but he at this point does have a decent amount of gold. Thinking about playing the Clairvoyance early, Venescula doesn't necessarily need to draw a lot of cards, so he's going to go into card draw with the Sharks. Oh, no, he's just spending... Oh, no. So the Sharks double your health if you're mortal. So he's expecting, right there, Fishies to go into dealing damage, and sure enough, he's going to. So Bundy, he is down 1 game, so he needs to make sure that he doesn't lose this one. So he's going to play a little more safe, gonna play the Shark and heal up, unless that puts him real close. It's not going to kill him, though. It is not going to... So the Shark Tank does double... Why do I say Shark Tank? It's not Shark Tank. The Gorge, gonna steal 6 health, stack of sharks. Does double his health, but double of 2 is not a lot. So he's potentially dead here. If he goes into something like the Sergeant Grimspike, Bundy is down and out. So he'll drop to the loser's bracket, and he'll be up against Alcabus, which you can catch that game as well. It's been streamed, so you can check that one out as well. But that's going to be Fishies 2-0, moving on to round 3 in this RuneScape Chronicle final tournament.